Hi there, I'm Tom Griffin. Welcome to episode 5 of Owning a Grinder. We're going to take some time to talk about some tips to keep your grinders up on the job site and parts and maintenance to keep them running so that you don't go down on the job site in the first place. One of the worst things that can happen is your machine going down on the job site. So let's take a minute to talk about some maintenance and some general tips to make sure that your machines stay up and running. One of the best things that I can say for you when you're done with a grinding job is to make sure that you clean out the underside of your machine. So really get up under there with the dust collector, suck out any dust and debris. It's gonna keep the grinding dust from this job site from moving to the other one. It's gonna help keep the rest of that job site clean, as well as your van and trailer. On the Helix, a great extra part to keep around is the nylon clutch plate. So this machine was designed with a special plate so that if your grind and scrape plate that holds your tools and is actually doing the work were to come to a sudden stop, that nylon clutch plate is gonna shred instead of your motor and all of the internal gear components. So for a $20-ish part, having one of those on hand, it takes about 10-15 minutes to switch out the first time, and then you're back up and going, you're not down on the job. I always like to keep some extra cotter pins. If you find that your crew is constantly damaging, the little metal rims where you're holding the tools in, I would just say making sure to have a little bit of a hammer and a little mallet, you can just kind of tap them back out to unbend them. But it's a pretty easy machine, pretty low maintenance. On the 8274-4, because it's driven by a Kevlar belt, you really want to make sure to have an extra one of those on hand. They're really tough, they're really strong, but every once in a while somebody's going to hit a dead head or go off a dock plate or something like that, and they're going to break that belt. And it is serviceable in the field. We include instructions for it. You've just got to have a crowbar and some wrenches. You can pull apart the machine, replace that belt, put it all back together, and be up and running pretty quick and easy on the job site. This machine also has Morflex couplers. I'm not really going to talk a lot about them, but basically it allows those heads to flex and move with the concrete because no concrete's flat. So making sure that you have some extra Morflex couplers around in case you were to break one of them is also going to help make sure that your machine stays up. You don't have that on the Helix, but you do have that on the 8274-4 and the GP700. The GP500 uses a rubber pad. It's just a little bit different style, but same concept. So making sure to have some extra rubber pads around will make sure that you stay up and going. But the best part for these machines for maintenance and actual maintenance is to refer to your manuals. We include a maintenance schedule, which is going to help you understand when to grease things, when to change brushes, all of those important more mechanical aspects covered in the manual. These tips and tricks I'm giving you today are really just day in and day out, easy things to make sure that your machines stay up and running.